There's been a lot of buzz on the internet lately about the stock market crashing in 2022. But what caused it? And what happens next? So watch on to learn more. This post will look closely at what might have caused the crash and explore some potential consequences. Hello everyone, welcome to Wealthy Wisdom channel. This video will discuss how the stock market crash in 2022 happened in this video. And then, what now? If you are new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. What caused the stock market to crash in 2022 and what consequences? A variety of factors caused the stock market crash of 2022. The first was the increasing trade tensions between the United States and China. As the two countries began to levy tariffs on each other's goods, businesses became increasingly anxious about the future of global trade. This uncertainty led to a decrease in investment. And as the value of stocks began to fall, investors started to sell off their holdings. The second factor is a sharp increase in the number of people investing in stocks and other securities. This created a situation where there was more supply demand than available shares. As a result, prices began to rise rapidly, creating a bubble. Third, many investors were using leverage, which allowed them to buy more shares than they could afford. They increased the risk of losses if the market turned downwards. Another factor that contributed to the crash was the rising cost of living. As housing, food, and healthcare prices continued to increase, consumers had less money to spend on discretionary items. This decrease in demand led to a reduction in company profits and share prices. Finally, the election of a new president also played a role in the stock market crash. The new president's policies led to increased regulation of the financial sector, which made investors nervous about the economy's future. All of these factors combined create a perfect storm that caused the stock market to crash in 2022. How did different countries and industries respond to the stock market crashing 2022? In the wake of the crash of 2022, other countries and industries took different approaches to recovery. Some nations, such as the United States, focused on stimulus packages and pro-business policies to jumpstart their economies. Others, like China, took a more cautious approach, investing heavily in infrastructure projects and domestic manufacturing. The crash hit the automotive industry hardest, and many companies went out of business. Those that survived did so by focusing on luxury and high-end vehicles that could still appeal to disposable income consumers. In contrast, the airline industry saw a boom as business travel increased to compensate for lost time. Overall, the crash of 2022 had a devastating effect on the global economy. However, countries and industries responded differently, with some faring better than others. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. What was the long-term impact of the stock market crash in 2022? The long-term effect of the stock market crash in 2022 was both widespread and severe. Businesses failed, jobs were lost, and retirement savings were wiped out. As the global economy increasingly became reliant on the stock market, the crash sent shockwaves worldwide. The crash also had a significant psychological impact as people lost faith in the financial system's stability. In the years following the crash, there was a substantial rise in anxiety and depression, as well as an increase in crime and suicide rates. While the world has slowly begun to recover from the crash, it is clear that its effects are still being felt today. What lessons can we learn from this event to help us prepare for future crashes? First and foremost, it's important to remember that the stock market is volatile and can go up or down at any time. While trying to time the market is tempting, it's often better to invest for the long term and ride out the ups and downs. The second lesson is that diversification is critical. When you diversify your investments, you spread your risk across different assets, classes, and sectors. This can help protect you from losses in one market area while allowing you to profit from other sides. Another important lesson is the importance of being patient. Many investors mistake selling their stocks for the first sign of trouble. However, this panic selling can amplify losses and turn a slight dip into a full-fledged crash. By remaining calm and holding onto your stocks during a crash, you can weather the storm and come ahead in the long run. Finally, we need an emergency fund to tide us during tough times. The stock market crash highlighted just how important it is to have some cash on hand in case of unexpected event. The stock market crash highlighted just how important it is to have some cash on hand in case of an unexpected event. How can investors protect themselves from another stock market crash? No one can predict the stock market's future with certainty, but there are steps investors can take to help protect themselves from another hit. The first approach is diversifying one's portfolio across several assets classes, including stocks, bonds, and cash. This way, if stocks go down, other investments may hold their value or even increase, providing some offsetting gains. The second approach is to focus on investments that tend to be less volatile, such as blue chip stocks or utility stocks. These stocks may not offer the same potential for growth as more speculative investments, but they are less likely to experience sharp declines in value. Another way to protect oneself from a stock market crash is to invest in stocks less likely to be affected by economic downturns. For example, stocks in industries such as healthcare and food production tend to be more resilient during economic recessions. Finally, to protect oneself from a stock market crash is to invest in stocks less likely to be affected by economic downturns. For example, stocks in industries such as healthcare and food production tend to be more resilient during economic recessions. There is no guaranteed way to avoid losses in the stock market, but investors can help reduce their risks by taking a few precautions. What to do if you've lost money in the stock market crashing 2022? If you've lost money in the stock market crash of 2022, there are a few things you can do to try and recoup your losses. First, it's essential to stay calm and avoid rash decisions. It can be tempting to sell your stocks as soon as the market drops, but this is often not the best idea. Instead, take a moment to assess your portfolio and figure out which stocks are still performing well and which ones are starting to lose value. If you have any stocks still doing well, you may want to hold on to them if the market starts to rebound. If you have any stocks losing value, you may want to sell them and invest in other assets. Finally, it's also a good idea to speak with a financial advisor to get their opinion on what you should do next. They can help you develop a plan that will help you reach your financial goals. The events that unfolded in the stock market crashing 2022 could have been predicted by looking at previous crashes and their effects on the economy. However, it's impossible to say what will happen next in the markets or the global economy. What we can do is be prepared for whatever might come our way. Follow a solid financial plan, stay informed about world events, and don't panic if things turn for the worse. It's important to remember that even during economic instability, there are always opportunities to make money and grow your wealth. We hope you found this video helpful and wish you all the best in your future investing endeavors. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you and goodbye.